In an exclusive Loose Women poll, we asked you, did your biological clock panic you into having a baby? And almost a third of you, 31%, said yes, it did. And, yeah, interesting. Chizzy, this is something that you said you completely relate to, even though you've said on here quite openly, I don't really want kids, I don't think. But then suddenly, if you the thought of not being able to have them, you're in a bit of a panic.
It's a weird one because I've never really felt the need to carry a child. I've always wanted to adopt, but yeah, just carrying that just never really appealed to me. And now I've just turned 45, and suddenly I was like, you know, there could be a chance that I may never ever be able to have a child. Aww. And no, honestly, I'm absolutely fine, but I worry that it's going to get too late and then it's going to get to the point where I really can't and the choice has been taken away from me. And I was with a friend, really beautiful Italian guy, and his friend. More's the pity. But I said, it just flippant comment. I said to him, you know, would you, if I wanted it, would you give me your sperm? And he said, yeah, sure, darling.
It's a Bruno Toglione.
Much better looking than Bruno. But you know, and I said, oh, okay. And I said, you know, obviously would do it, you know, through the sperm bank. And oh yes, of course, because we can't have sex. This is him. We can't have sex because we're too close to each other. And I was thinking, yeah, obviously we can't have sex. But really and truly, I don't know if... Because I take my hat off to single women, single mothers, because I've got sisters, I've got mothers, friends who've done it. And I don't think I could be a single mum. I really don't.
What scares you about that?
I don't think my mental health could handle it. I don't think me with a child... I'm not saying I wouldn't hurt the child or nothing, but I just don't think I can look after a child 24 hours a day.
I think you're thinking too much about it. You know what? When I was really late having children, and I had this panic, it's like, oh my goodness. So I was 38 when I had Zach, then I adopted at 40. But I have to say, if you think too much about it, you'll just never end up doing it. So if you feel it...
But she's not sure she does feel it.
I know, but I'm just saying, if you do, I would just say, for me, my children gave me a purpose. Sure. And I didn't feel that biological clock. And I even remember sitting down with Steve saying, look, you know, if we can't have kids, not the end of the world, we'll have a fantastic life. It did happen, and I have to say, it does give you a purpose. But one thing that I always do is like, what if? If you do the what ifs, it'll never happen. Yeah. And you have got a supportive family. I do. So if you feel it, I would say go for it.
But by saying having kids gives you a purpose means...
But just for me, it did.
Well, if you... That kind of implies that if you don't have kids, you've got no purpose.
No, I didn't say that at all. Not at all.
Well, it kind of does. No, and a lot of women watching will think, well, I don't...
No, because your purpose was your career and all your stuff and your husbands and all, you know, and all... And they had children. That gave you purpose.
Yeah, but I don't... I personally think along the way I had a stepson who was a very dear boy, and then sadly he died, and my husband was distraught. And you know, these things happen in your life, and I've always really liked work. But what worries me about women going into their 40s thinking, oh, I'd like a child, is that it's not like a dog or a pet. Or I remember when I was in my late 20s, early 30s, and I was already pretty successful, my mother was going on and on and on about when was she going to get a grandchild. And I turned to her and I went, get a dog. Because there's more chance of unconditional love from that animal.
The article I was reading about this, the woman who wrote the article, she's saying if you think you want children, you should ask yourself why. Yeah. You know, is this just about you? And I do, you know, I really feel for people who can't have children who want them. I really do. Yeah. I had Jack much later. Didn't know if I was going to be able to, but luckily I did. So I'm very privileged and I appreciate that. But I do wonder sometimes if this panic makes you make sometimes a bit of a selfish decision, that you're not thinking then of that life for that child, you know.
Yes.
There's nothing wrong with being a single parent, but I just go, why do you want a child? What is it you want
I don't even know if I want a child. I think it's just a case of I just don't want that choice taken away from me. And I know it's a purely self... Part of me is like, you know, oh, gosh, especially with the Italian guy, you know, imagine what our kid would look like. And that's really selfish.
Don't you think it's because in modern society, choice is everything? You can't just buy a pair of jeans. You've got to go online and look at 100 pairs of jeans. You can't buy a normal dog. You'd have 100 designer dogs, and French bulldogs being the most obvious. And it's the same that's been now to apply to fertility, because science has made such advances that you could have a baby. There are even women my age having babies. So it's like something that nature denied you at a certain stage, that's changed.
Yeah, but society makes has made it difficult for women to that choice has been taken away. So I wanted to make sure that I had a house, I was financially stable, that I could afford to have a child. And that was late on. I had to find the right partner. I wasn't just going to have a baby with somebody. That took ages to
Louise
do.
Here, Louise
so sometimes that choice is good, that if you could have that choice to have it later, it's great.
Yeah, Louise has got in touch. She said, I never wanted kids, but then I got to 37 and I started to feel differently. It scared me to death, actually. My partner at the time didn't want children, so we ended up splitting up. I then ended up marrying the wrong person and had a baby, and you often hear that, don't you? People, it's like a really quick relationship and suddenly they've got a baby. She said, I'm now divorced, but I am happy and have a fantastic little boy, which is wonderful.
Yeah.
Now, everybody now, babies are the centre of so many people's worlds, but obviously once you've had a child and you've taken them through their teenage years and all that anxiety, your opinions might change. Well, back in 1975, agony aunt Anne Landers asked her readers, if you had to do it all over again, would you have children? Nearly 10,000 parents replied. They didn't email. Back then, they had to write it on postcards and stick it in the letterbox. 10,000 parents answered, and a few weeks later, she told everyone the results in an article headlined, 70% of parents say kids not worth it.
That's high, man, isn't it? That's high, 70%.
Life was
They were
hard
having a
in
bad day.
1975.
The fact they had to write that and walk to the post box, they were really feeling that. They were really feeling that.